Consider myself coming.
They're ready.
Ready?
All right, so it is 7 o'clock, so we will call the February 3rd meeting of the Downtown Development Authority to order. We'll start with roll call.
St. Laurent,
Here?
Lee,
Here.
Rose,
Here?
Bowers,
Here.
Hutnick,
Here.
Oswald.
Here.
Poznanski. Here. And Van Wormer's absent.
Okay, so we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we'll move on to approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, agenda is approved. And then we will move on to approval of the minutes from the January 6th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor to approve the minutes?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. We will now open up for public forum. If anyone has anything they want to speak on that's not an agenda item, now is your chance.
Yes, you are. Anyone else?
Okay, so we'll move on to financial reports.
So we have our financial reports for December 2024 and January 2025. December, we have total interest earned $754.68. The total bills presented for approval are $43,079.84. No deposits.
Do you want us to make a motion individually on these, or do it all together? Doesn't matter. Do you think it matters?
Should we do it by month?
By month? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the December bills.
Okay, is there a second?
In what amount?
Is $43,079.84.
Okay. Support.
Okay, so we'll do roll call for this.
St. Laurent,
Yes?
Lee,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes?
Bowers,
Yes.
Hutnick,
Yes.
Oswald,
Yes.
Poznanski.
Yes.
Okay, so December's financial report is approved, and now we can look into January's.
January, we had no earned interest, no deposits. Total bills presented for approval are $12,544.25.
And then Kate, can you just have them make that correction on the reports? It says Danielle Lee, Romeo DDA board member. I don't do these anymore. I'll make a motion to approve the January financial report and bills presented for $12,544.25.
Is there a second?
Support.
And St. Laurent,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes?
Bowers,
Yes.
Hutnick,
Yes.
Oswald,
Yes.
Poznanski.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to funding requests. The board has not received any requests for funding at this time. So we can move into new business. And our new business item is the public restroom. So there's been comments from the community as well as business owners that there is a need for a public restroom in the downtown, not only for events, but also as a general, the public who lives, works, and plays in the downtown area. The board has discussed having portable option for public restrooms to test the need and location. Below is pricing received from Peclo Portables. The Mini Lux two-station restroom trailer, 2 private restrooms, heating, air conditioning, running water, flushing toilets. We can pump the waste tank and clean, and we can connect to the sewer system, and we would not have to pump it out. Full service with weekly cleaning and pump is $750 a week. Rental only with no service is $600 a week. And if we wanted to just do special events, 1 to 3 days, $800. Then it goes on to the presidential 3-station, which is 3 private restrooms, the same benefits, and that goes up to $1,300 per week. Rental only $1,000, special events $1,200. Or the ADA compliant, heating, running water, flushing, same with the pumping of the waste and cleaning, $2,000 a week, $1,800 a week, or special events $2,100.
There are additional options as well as these, including just a single standalone portable, kind of what you, and this is, it's Matt, right? If you, yeah, if you want to come and kind of introduce your company and, you know, those other options too, we can.
Real quick, before you speak, where are we talking about putting this at?
I don't know that we've formally identified an
No,
area.
this is just informational.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me here today. My name's Matt Peclo. I live about 10 minutes down the road in Oakland Township. And I'm very familiar with this set and setting here. I used to be a Parks Commissioner for Oakland Township, so very familiar with the process of bidding out jobs, getting information, having people come up and speak to different things. My family has a long history in Romeo, actually. My grandpa built a lot of houses up here. Last name is Proper. My grandma was a lifelong employee of Romeo Schools. She worked as a counselor, and some extended family of mine worked as firefighters for Bruce Township and Romeo. So I know the area very well. We also did the Vintage Fest, I believe it was called, last summer with some of our units. A little bit about myself. My wife and I started this company about 2 years ago. We saw a need in the community and the surrounding areas for a cleaner portable restroom experience. And so we started with the luxury portable restrooms like you might see at weddings or grad parties and things like that. And now we've branched also into just the standard portable toilets. So when Kathy had reached out and asked for some pricing for what you guys were looking for, I was quick to jump at it. First thing that I can kind of go over is with those restroom trailers. So that first option there is that Mini Lux. 2 private restrooms, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, running water, flushing toilets. It's a small unit, but it's fairly inexpensive, and that's why a lot of our clients actually like it. You mentioned about pumping out the toilet versus we can connect it to the sewer versus special events. The cheapest option is going to be if we can connect it into the sewer system here. Now, I don't know if that's going to be possible, but that's where a lot of your costs comes. $150,000 pump truck that has to come. We have to pay for our license. We have to pay to dump the waste. That's where a ton of that comes. 8 miles to the gallon diesel fuel, $4 a gallon. It's pretty expensive, if we were to pump these out. So if we can hook into the sewer system, that'd be great. Save you guys some money. But we're free to pump them out as well too. I live just down the road. We have a lot of business up and down this road, so it's really no problem for us to do that. Going into just the presidential 3-station or similar, these are just larger restroom options, more spacious, more bells and whistles, things like that. And I know there was a need, or you guys were thinking about getting some ADA compliant restrooms in there, which for a city, a municipal government, is always a good thing to do. Unfortunately, the ADA trailer options are extremely expensive. They have to make them so that they raise up and down. They have to be level to the ground. There's a lot of restrictions there, so that turns into a larger price tag. So that's why you'll see those ADA options are, much more expensive. We also have just standard portable toilets, standard ADA portable toilets that are available too. What I find the most is a lot of folks are set up on a weekly cleaning cycle, and towards the end of that week, it can get pretty gross. So if you're looking for something to be a little cleaner, we can come out twice a week, 3 times a week. It's kind of up to you guys to set the cadence. More restrooms, the less dirty they get, the less full those waste tank gets. But I'll kind of stop there and pause and see if anyone has any questions about any of these units, anything like that.
Do you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you know if we can hook up into our sewers or something, like you'd come out and look at that, or you would work with our DPW, or how do you normally
I'd probably
do
work
that?
with your DPW to get something going. Likely, if this is a temporary solution, we would just connect like a hose from the waste tank into the sewer system where it could discharge.
And we would need to make sure on the villages on that this is an allowable way of using our sewer.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
We would need to put on a meter, so it's metered. You would still be paying, because we have the way our rates are set up. You could just pay sewer, because
Right.
they're divided between water and sewer. So there's potential there, but it depends where it's at, where it's located. If it's even allowable.
Right.
Yep.
How have we done restrooms in the past, just when we had events?
Just the standard,
Porta-johns?
yeah.
Porta johns, yep.
Would it?
No, go ahead.
Has that been an issue?
I don't think there's been an issue. I don't know that porta johns get a whole lot of use just because of the porta john. It's just not something that people typically, they kind of turn up their nose when we tell them that. This came out of some communications we had received from some, through social media saying people would like to see public restrooms. So, we had kind of just put it out there. This is one option. We'd also talked about maybe working with the village and, do we put in bricks and mortar public restroom? Just kind of exploratory at this point. My question is, do you have any other municipalities that do something like this on a long-term basis?
Not municipalities for the big restroom trailers. We do have, we just got the Oakland Township contract for all of their parks departments, so we're out putting units out right now. What Oakland Township does, because I have a lot of experience in that area from being on the board, they do have some permanent facilities, and I'd encourage you guys to check them out. They have some vault toilets are an option. Those tend to get pretty smelly though. I was in a couple of them today. And they also have what's called like a green flush restroom, which is basically there's a big tank underground and it's still connected to water. It looks and it functions like a normal toilet, but you can flush it. And so when that tank reaches capacity, it's probably, I would say, a 1,000 to 3,000 gallon tank. I'd have to look to see what it is. You call a company to come in and suck out that entire tank.
So it's like a camper.
Sorry, what was
It's like
that?
an RV, a camper, where the water flushes it out and it's in a holding tank.
Kind of, but it's literally, it's a permanent standalone unit that's like built into the park system. So they put them in their higher traffic parks because, people wanted something more than a porta-john, and they're a really good option. I can link you guys up with them if you want to take a look at them. I'm not sure how much they cost, and it's not something that we do at this time, but there's a lot of companies out there that do provide that.
Knowing what you know about Romeo, just the footprint of the town, and if you don't know, that's okay, but where do you think this would work to put something like one of these units?
Like a restroom trailer unit, a nicer unit.
Not in a parking space.
Yeah, I would actually look to you guys to see where's most of the traffic. And we'd want to do appropriate signage all around to make sure that folks know where it's at. If you're trying to tap into the sewer system, that's going to be a factor.
Right.
There's a lot of things to consider there. It would be something like if you were to want to move forward with something, I'd work with you to determine a location.
The best spot for it, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, thinking through that, where we would even have a block that would be usable.
Yeah.
To me, the only feasible space I can even think of is the Village Park. That is literally all I can think of.
Yeah.
Everything else is a parking space.
And we're
The
not
only thing
giving
that
those
would
up.
be feasible, I know the Lions Club has that corner. It's not in the DDA, but it is, that corner they're talking about developing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're gonna do it, it has to be in the DDA, and I think the tough spot is that there's not a whole lot of space, and we want it to be a place that's as centrally located as we could make it.
An alley, ooh.
A couple questions, and I know Kathy's point, this is, right now just informational. We're just trying to learn, and I know that this kind of is because we've had a couple of requests at least to look into it. So we're talking trailer, at least that's the term being used, versus, I mean, if we're gonna essentially bring in a permanent trailer, wouldn't it be a permanent structure? Why trailer?
Semi-permanent?
Pardon?
Is it it's more of a semi-permanent. I'm envisioning like a double wide, but not a.
Like a
but
modular-
Yes, that's
Right.
able
What
to
I'm saying is,
move.
are we trying to come up with a solution that would be temporary?
I think
And
it, yeah,
if
with
it's
the.
We need to try
temporary
it.
And we're gonna put money into something that's temporary, how much money are we putting into it, and what's it gonna cost to make more of
Yeah.
a permanent structure, which I know that's kind of the information we're searching for here. I mean, would you say, in your expertise, that you would take one of these temporary trailers and make it permanent?
So there's a couple options there. First off, so like that mini two-station trailer, the footprint of that is about 8 feet by 4 feet. It's pretty small. Now, some of these other restroom trailers can be, with the steps extended, you're talking about 10, 12 feet wide by 16 feet long. There's a couple options there. So if you're looking for something that's more temporary, I'd recommend getting a trailer unit. However, they do make these exact same units just without wheels. They look like a big shipping container almost. They don't look like a shipping container, but it's that style where you have to move it with the forklift. You'd need to set it on concrete that's nice and level. And that's a more permanent structure. Someone said semi-permanent. That's what I would call semi-permanent. The ones that are trailers, those to me are considered portable.
So it's almost like we're looking for a prefabbed restroom, if that's something that would be less expensive than having somebody actually construct a building
Right.
that would be.
Yeah, because are we looking for more seasonal? Was the intent year-round? I don't know what we're thinking here.
Yeah, I
Again,
think we
oh-
were seasonal, weren't we, thinking like April through,
Oh, okay, then.
I mean, just to try it out. I mean, I think that's kind of what we
Well, I
discussed
see- yeah,
a little bit.
I think
No,
what we had, kind of said was, before we buy the bricks and build a
Right,
unit,
right.
right, in the middle of the park, is this something that's truly gonna get the use that we're expecting from the feedback that
But
we're
the
getting?
future then is full-time.
Very similar, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, John.
I kind of feel the greatest need for this is like right in 32 in Van Dyke. Because we have garbage trucks that come in, we have all those trucks that pull into the gas station. They don't let them use the bathroom.
But-
Then they walk over to Buscemi's, and then they don't let them use the bathroom. Then they come and see me and I feel bad, so they use the bathroom. It's
Well, that's the thing
nonstop,
is-
ongoing
Right.
I
traffic
think the
all
more
day
centered in the
long.
district is the
Sure.
best, but it's
Yeah.
also, do we have property that we can
I
put it
know.
on centered
Right,
in the
that's-
district?
yeah.
Without taking up parking spots.
So I'm in full agreement, trust me, and I understand this is just grabbing info, but I believe financially, we need to find out what's a permanent structure.
Yeah.
Wherever it's gonna be, I don't know, gonna cost, and can it even be done? Because if, before we start putting money into something that, pardon the pun, gonna end up being wasted when we build a permanent one. Maybe we can start on it now. And I know this can be done very quickly. Permanent structure, you might be talking a ways out, but
I mean, outside of the park, what other things do people utilize outside where they would need a bathroom?
See, my only other thought, is there a way on any building that we would work with the building owner to build off the back and external of which is, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is one, I think, of multiple solutions to just kind of try to answer that question, if we can answer the question. Maybe, you know, maybe this isn't something that we can take on, but just bringing it to the table because it was
Yep.
brought up.
Yep. I'd recommend reaching out to, there's a new director at Oakland Township Parks and Recreation. His name is Ben McCloskey. And then together with him, the maintenance team, they have bidded these out before, these kind of permanent restrooms. So you can get a good idea of what something might cost by going with them.
So then are they servicing their own, or is that part of your contract that you
That's part
have?
of my contract, is I clean them and pump them,
Okay.
because they still need to be pumped eventually. So it's kind of a mixture right now. They have, I'm thinking, 1, 2, 3, they have 4 sites where there's permanent restrooms, these either vault toilets or flush toilets. And then there's probably 7 or 8 different sites with porta potties. And sometimes they actually, there's both. They'll have the flush restroom and porta potties next to it just seasonally, because they'll get, like, on the soccer field, they'll need, you know, extra because there's all kinds of people coming through.
Even if we just started out with one porta potty, just to, until, you know, for this summer, and get a feel for where to put the brick and mortar one.
Well, I think the issue though with the one porta potty was when we've done it for the last couple of events, when they were picking them up, they said that they were never used.
Yeah, if that's the case, and I know porta potty, we have to define it, it wouldn't be one porta potty. If we're gonna do something like that for a real trial, it should be something a little nicer, to see if people will use it.
Yeah, I would, yeah, because when we've done the one-off, you know, door and walk in, you know, the old fashioned, that's what the companies have told us when they picked it up is,
Matt, did we have that
Just-
last year in Vintage
I honestly
West?
don't remember. I don't know how much use they
Just-
got.
We had the one over at the park, and then we had the one in the public parking lot.
Mhm.
So we had, well, actually had 3, right?
Yeah.
So,
There's kind of there is a stereotype on porta potties nowadays. For so long, they've been ill-maintained, and so no one wants to use them. But I will say all of our porta potties are all brand new. And so once you have kind of someone that sees the brand new porta potty, you put air freshener in there, you put nice toilet paper in there, and there's no graffiti on the walls, they're not 20 years old. People do tend to use them more once they see that they're nice and clean. And porta potties don't have to be gross.
No.
That's a very common misconception. They don't have to be gross.
Is your sink on the inside, or is it on the outside?
So we have units that's called a flushable porta potty. And I don't think I actually put a quote in there for one of those, but I should, where we have sinks on the inside and a flushable toilet on the inside as well. Now those, it's a foot pump that flushes the toilet. And so there's a little flapper there, so you can't really see into the waste tank because people think that's gross, right? They don't want to see the blue toilet paper and everything else in there. So there's a flapper, you go to the bathroom, you hit the black foot pump, and it flushes it down, and then there's a foot pump for the sink as well. There's soap, toilet paper in there.
Right, that's the one I seen with the foot pump.
Yep,
They're very nice.
yeah, they are, yep.
can they be ADA compliant?
Those ones, the particular ones that I'm thinking of, those ones are not ADA compliant. I'm sure they do make an ADA compliant unit with a sink in there, because I know there's special requirements for the sinks in ADA units as well.
Okay. What would something like that run?
I wouldn't be able to give you a price right
Okay.
now. I'd have to go back and do some more research. But, you know, you're in the porta potty ballpark, so to speak, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, the restroom trailers, you're talking 800 plus a week. And, you know, if you look at a porta potty, it's, an ADA porta potty is like $200 a month. So I can't see something being with a sink and a flushing toilet in there. I can't see something being more than $350 a month.
Okay.
And they're nice size.
And they're big.
They
yeah,
are a
I've
little
seen them.
bigger. Those
Yeah.
flushable ones are a little
Yeah.
bigger. Yep.
And how much would it be to have them cleaned?
So,
And how often?
yeah, I mean, that would all be included in that price.
The
So,
$350 a month?
that monthly price, yeah.
I'm guessing it's going to be around.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to guess right now, so don't hold me to this, but one of those, just a flushable unit, not ADA accessible, a flushable unit, let me think here, it'd be So we refill it with 20 gallons of fresh water at every visit, and we pump out the waste. You're gonna be in the ballpark, I'd say around like $250 per month.
Per month.
Yeah,
And then how often is that?
that'd be once a week.
Once a week?
Mhm.
And if they are a little bigger, that is nice.
They're
Thinking,
really nice.
I don't ever go in the bathroom alone. I always have someone with me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
there's not
so-
room for 2 people in that one.
I'm just
but-
saying, like, but a
yeah.
kid,
A little
that's
kid.
that's the
But
reason
But
I'm.
would you
Yeah.
bringing your children
generally-
in?
yeah.
That's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
about.
so a
is
little
parents with
extra
their little-
skosh room to be able to hold them and do whatever
Yeah.
is very helpful.
Yeah. Now, what you're gonna want, because you are a governmental agency, I would highly encourage you get an ADA unit. Whether or not you have just one ADA unit and another unit, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. When you're a local government, you have to abide by, I believe it's Title 49, if I remember correctly. You have to provide those types of facilities.
There's one right here in this parking lot. We're good.
Walk all the way over here.
But yeah, like I said, if you're looking for something, super clean, multiple times a week, we can try it out once a week. If that's something that you want to do and say, it's getting a little dirty, bump it up to twice a week. An extra cleaning, it's not going to be much. You're in the ballpark of $30 to $50 for an extra cleaning on that particular unit.
So we could try out something like that
Mm-hmm.
See
in
how
the
it
park,
goes.
April through, whatever, October,
Yeah.
November. And it would run us around $350 a month, approximately?
Just that standard unit, I think
The
you'd be
standard.
closer to $250.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's
Closer to
for
two.
one,
that's the
for-
one that's
for the one.
non-ADA,
and then an ADA one
would be
about
200.
would be about
Yeah.
200, so about 500?
550.
550.
550.
And if you got 2 of them out there, I could probably give you a break on price, since there's already one there, already making the trip here, so, I can get back to you with a firm
Yeah, no,
quote on it, but just kind
roughly
of ballparking.
$500.
Yeah, but roughly, just so we kind of
Yeah.
have an idea.
Now,
Yeah.
the one thing that I do encourage you to think about, I know you mentioned like the truck drivers and they're going to the
Yeah,
gas
they're not
station
gonna
and
go
they're
around
going-
there.
Oakland Township has this kind of an issue. One of the parks is, we call it a truck stop, because it's off a main road, and, folks are going in there that are working for heating and cooling companies and painters and utility workers. And to me, you really don't want those types of folks using your restrooms that are for your residents that are in the parks or, shopping downtown, stuff like that.
That's a good point.
So we put a sign in. Not allowed.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
your
problem.
time. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Does he have any cards? You got the information?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll move on to unfinished business, park mobile updates.
Okay. So we kind of ran into a little bit of a hiccup with the park mobile signs going up and discovering that we didn't really feel like there was enough signage for people to be aware. So Park Mobile has given us some additional signs, one per zone, so we have to identify where we can put those. They're also gonna give us some A-frame signage that we can put on our A-frame signs that we already have to kind of put around in different places as well as just a temporary solution. So the Park Mobile signs came today, so hopefully we can get this plan flushed out and we'll go live very soon. In the process of doing all of that, we did discuss the need for free 15-minute parking. And so we got with Park Mobile and they came up with a solution. Basically, for every 15-minute slot that someone books, the DDA will be charged 40 cents. So basically, Park Mobile told us, hey, we're not into the free parking business, so whatever solution we can come up with is gonna have to be paid parking. So with that, we just looked at adjusting the other parking time spots to make up for that. So you can see what we had previously, what the cost was for 30 minutes, 45, 60, and the current with the 15-minute free parking. The 30-minute goes up to 50 cents, and then so on, kind of falls back in line. All we can do at this point is kind of test it out, see how many, at the end of each month, we're gonna get a report that says, this is how many 15-minute spots, reservations we had, this is how many 30-minute, and so on, just to see, is it gonna be an advantage for us? But it does solve for the high complaints of, I just wanna run in and get my coffee, I don't wanna pay. So,
Do they have to sign up for the full 15 minutes, or when they log in?
yeah, it's a
the
15-minute
minimum.
slot.
So it would cost us $6 for each car that signs up? If we have to pay the 40 cents, is that what I'm understanding?
It's 40 cents per park.
Oh, per
So,
park,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So each time somebody
I thought it was
selects the
minutes.
15-minute, we will be charged 40 cents.
Okay, I thought it was 40 cents a minute.
So Park Mobile won't allow us to make these whatever we want?
Yeah,
You
we
can just
can.
make 15 minutes 0?
Once
guess-
someone
Yes.
uses, to use their software, as soon as I pull in a spot, and if I choose 15 minutes and use that software, they're gonna
Oh.
charge.
Because
So,
you're using their software.
yeah, so we're paying that first
I got you.
15
And then
minutes.
this allows the officers to be able to track and write citations as necessary.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I
I-
think, our time slot is 10 to 7. That is paid parking. I think a lot of the dash in, dash out type situation is either early morning or evening. So we'll see. We'll see how many people we have that really feel they need the free 15 minutes and go from there. I mean, well, all we can do is try it. And ideally, the rest of this, if I'm paying for an hour, is making up that 40 cents, the 15-minute parking, so.
Plus that free 15 minutes will probably wreak havoc on our police department.
If you can't.
16, that was 16. That was
Right,
16
right.
minutes.
If that was part of it too, was an idea of just let them pull up. Well, that's what we have right now. We
Yeah.
have 2-hour parking that you can't monitor.
Yeah, you have to sign up
You
for
have
it
to do
in order to
something, yeah.
know in any way.
So if DoorDash pulls up to Main Street, say at 2 o'clock, to pick up an order,
They still have to do the
They
QR
register.
code.
Yep.
Or they
So-
can park behind.
so it would come out of
I'm not really there, no.
the drivers, I'm just figuring this out.
No.
No,
It's free.
it's free.
If they go in and get that order and their car is pulled out within 15 minutes, it's not gonna cost them anything.
But anything beyond that would come out of them.
Well,
Right,
yeah.
so now if that,
Or
instead
they
of saying,
choose, they choose to park there versus parking in a free spot, then yes, they
Yeah,
would have to pay that.
because that was the complaint that we got, was that, what about the Door Dashers, the Uber Eats, the people just pulling up to run in and grab something? Well, we've now taken that fee off, right? They're not gonna have to pay to pull up and grab something. If I'm gonna pay and stay 30 minutes, now I'm gonna have to pay. I mean, that goes back to the whole reason for having paid parking. But all the kind of food pickup services or the run in and run out, you won't have to pay.
So,
Is that normally a time frame to pick up food?
Oh,
15
yeah,
minutes?
lunchtime, and sometimes, if you have a lot of DoorDash orders or whatever, sometimes they're waiting 10 minutes, or a little bit longer. If they call in and add on to it, then it becomes 20 minutes. I don't know.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think,
there's a lot
then-
of free parking
then they
within
would park-
walking distance.
I was just gonna
Pretty
say, then
easily, and
I
half of these,
think that they then go to free parking if it's gonna be longer, or if a restaurant has that much DoorDash business pickup, they could always
You comp the spot
validate.
for the day,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, if you know you have a lot coming in, do the 2 hours that are, it's $2.
yeah, go out and pay the 2 hours in front of this. If I had a restaurant and I knew that I was gonna have a flow of people for pickup, I would go and pay for 2 hours until everyone, you park in this, pull up, and then you're still saving your business coming in. I mean, the whole idea is, and I think we need to remember why we're doing this. if we're trying to get free parking everywhere, then we just leave everything alone. I mean, the whole idea is that the village council, to lower the fee that allowed all these businesses to now open, all the restaurants that we're talking about, they were all being stunted because of the pay to park. So this was the solution, and once that was lifted, we've seen all these restaurants and businesses wanting to come downtown. So, you know, but the money's gotta come from somewhere. So this
And
I
the-
think is a happy medium,
And movement.
and moving the parking around, still giving the free parking, accommodating the quick pickups. I think we've hit on, you know, everyone's concerns and tried to resolve them as much as humanly possible without a restaurant coming to town and having to pay $50,000 to do business in Romeo.
So, I wanted to say a couple things, just for clarification, even maybe more than just for us, but for everyone else. First of all, what you said as far as going out, paying for a spot so that people can come in and use that spot, you can't do that, because somebody else might pull into it.
You can't save a specific
You
spot.
can't save a spot. I mean, they might all be full, you're just paid for.
True.
So, but clarification regarding this 15 minutes, because that's something that think I've been harping on. Certainly not happy with this, that somebody's got to pay for it. But I do understand, Park Mobile not allowing us to use our spots for whatever time frame we want. I don't know.
Maybe this will help.
It-
So
That doesn't set quite
Well,
right.
it's not
This is-
that. You
it's-
could use them, we're just
Well-
not gonna use their software.
this is,
So.
yes,
what
we're
I was
not paying,
getting to
yeah, we're not
was-
paying any fee to them monthly regardless of,
Okay.
they're
Well,
making it off.
What
of
I was
this.
getting to, and again, this is the reason for my clarifying for everyone. We can't monitor if you pull up.
Right.
And don't use their software if you're there for 15 minutes or you're there for an hour. We have to assume you've been there for an hour, we're gonna charge you.
Correct.
So the reason why, yes, you're gonna get that 15 minutes, but you still have to log in,
Correct.
is so we know you've only been 15 minutes.
Correct.
Right.
That's what I want to clarify for everybody. When they say, well, what do you mean? I still have to pick up my phone and say that I'm here? Yes, you do. Because otherwise, we can't control it, we can't monitor it, we don't know anything.
Do
So
we only get one of
that's-
those a day? So what if I want to pick up coffee at 11, and then I need to pick up carry out at 2, and then I want it, there's no
way out.
way, okay.
Guess go as many times as
It's
you
as
want.
much as
Just be in
your
and out in
first
15 minutes.
15. Okay.
So I
Do
don't
it
know,
quick.
I don't know if I was clear on that, but I hope
Yes.
you guys understand why I wanted to say what I just said was to clarify for people outside of this room, why do we have to log in at all? Well, because how are we supposed to know how long you've been there? So,
Correct.
I guess that's the point. I wanted to make sure I clarified. One other issue here, or not issue, but idea here, which was brought forward regarding signage. It looks to me like, so there's gonna be some panels that we're gonna put in our A-frame signs. Are there gonna be, or are we still working this out? Are there also gonna be like these pedestal-looking signs, which will take care of where we don't have poles to attach signs? Is it
Yeah.
gonna be kind of a combination that I'm
Yeah.
looking at here?
Yeah, the plan is so varied depending on where it is.
We don't know yet, okay.
You know, these are
Um,
just some options.
I had made a suggestion, whether it's a good one or not, I don't know, probably not. Some of these signs, whatever's gonna be on this sign that explains what's going on, give me one to put in my window. So if they're walking into the store, they've got another visual, oh, wait, I forgot, or how does that work again? So, I mean, that was just an idea. I don't know if they're providing them or if we can just get them printed ourselves, but if the stores can have one on their front door would be my idea on that. The pedestal signs, I think I saw this here on the agenda. The village is going to allow us, as far as permitted, or are these
Depends
signs
where
have to
they're
go in every night?
I do
Do the
have,
pedestal, because the pedestal signs right now
the
need to go in
paperwork,
every night.
if you guys approve it, to get the proper permit. Yeah.
But will we be able to leave them out permanently? I'm not gonna go out there and pull one of these in every night.
That was the plan.
That's the plan? It's on me again?
Yeah, we voted. There you go.
Got it. Do it, okay.
Yeah, for the time being, the sandwich boards will be allowed to be out there. They are super temporary. This isn't a permanent solution.
Okay.
This was to help us how can we get this going? We've told,
Got it.
we've been waiting. What's the easiest, fastest at this moment? I would hope that within a month, they are no longer permanently out there all the time, that we have another
Okay.
solution coming.
So we're working through it. Okay.
I'd also like to just say to these business owners, obviously, and then any out there, if it starts to be where people are coming in and your staff is having to train them on how to use this, we should probably have a conversation and see what we can do to help solve that, because your employees are not needing to train people on how to use park owners. So just throwing that out there.
I've had a conversation with mine, and I've asked them to be kind and considerate. And what we had got, the postcards we had gotten in the mail, I had saved those, and I said, there is some information here. And please do not interject your opinion in what, this is not about that. And, you know, we don't care what you think. You know, everybody has their opinions. And I've asked them to keep their opinions to themselves, and that just to be helpful and kind about it. So I agree. If that happens, I will obviously let you all know with that. But at this point in time, I'm just asking for kindness and forgiveness and no opinions, please, with that.
So, okay, additional signs, when we say additional, we initially had what planned? Were we paying for them, and now we're paying more for additional?
I don't think we paid for the initial signs. We're paying for these signs because they're additional.
So the ones we got with the program we got, so this is additional signs not to exceed 500.
Are we using the ones we got with the initial
Yes,
purchase? We are.
yes. I think, and Kay, correct me if I'm wrong, once some of them started to go up in the locations that were identified, it was clear that maybe a tree might be in the way if you were on the other side and then you couldn't see it, so it was decided that more were needed.
My only comment is, I sure like the visual of the pedestal ones
Yeah,
more
I
than
do
these
too.
A-frames. If we're
Yeah.
gonna be buying them anyways, just buy the pedestal ones, you can move them where you want.
Yeah,
Put them in front of the tree if that's the issue, but it certainly looks better than these A-frames.
Do we plan on these getting hooked to light poles at all?
no.
Some of the current ones were.
So on Main Street, how are we gonna advertise?
Oh, yeah, so the original plan included signage along Main Street, attaching to the current poles that we have.
Yeah, okay.
That went through the whole Macomb County process, takes a very long time. So we're trying to do this added signage without having to do that. Because we'll have to go back to the drawing
Yeah.
board.
Should this,
Are those their poles?
no, but it's in the right of way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should this go and this becomes a permanent thing, we've talked about how we could incorporate into, remember back in the day when you could get your not your zip code, your house number on your curb?
Oh.
Something like that, that says paid parking, doesn't need to be ostentatious, but enough that in the spots we can have paid parking so people know that way too. And then maybe pull away the sandwich signs, it's getting a little more used to it, and we can have just paid parking. But again, we're not gonna go into that depth until we know this is going to be a permanent project. I like the standing ones, those give
I
it a
do
good
too.
semi-permanent
Yeah.
with a good look. No one's gonna walk away with the sandwich board.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the cost of additional signage and permit not to exceed $500.
Just for clarification for my board, is this $500 solely coming out of the DDA's budget, or will this come out of the revenues from the parking?
I think it would come out of the revenues that didn't we allocate some money to be held to cover administratively?
Yes.
So it'll come out of that.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second? I will second. Since we're spending money, if we can do a roll call.
Yes. St. Laurent,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Rose,
No?
Bowers,
Yes.
Hutnick,
No.
Osbold,
Yes.
Poznanski.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to multimodal streetscape conceptual planning services.
This is a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
I'll turn it over to you, Kay.
So we have officially entered into contract with Giffords Webster, and we are working on scheduling the first kickoff meeting in February. So just want to make everyone aware that we now have several larger projects going on at the same time, and we're in the same phase. So it's going to feel pretty noisy when you're getting emails to take surveys, or when we're asking you to join a kickoff meeting. Because we have the strategy planning meeting, we have the streetscape, and we have the wayfinding, all going on at the same time. So just kind of a heads up on that.
All right, moving on to art plan.
The art plan had their first meeting on Friday. Andrew, if you want, I don't know, I think
Yep.
the next action item is just to set up another meeting.
Yeah, so we met, and we just kind of discussed the overall concept of what the Girl Scouts want to do and how we can partner with them and who we need to be involved to make sure that it's a well-done project. So coordinating with Starkweather and the muralist who did the mural downtown, making sure that we're using proper paints, proper products.
Where do they
and
want to put this?
Finding a place to put it, we don't know yet.
My new building has a mural spot on it,
Right,
huge, in the alley.
okay, that's
So, I mean,
definitely
if they
something we
want to
can,
look at
yeah,
that, then they can look at that.
that'd be awesome.
Or we'll put the mural there, one way, too.
Yeah, no, that's great. We started to discuss, Josie, our intern, was, she's not from here, so she was kind of looking for ideas from us, so I will definitely share that.
Say, define new building. New to be
The
built?
new building that we might build.
Okay,
across
so
the
it's
street.
not, this is,
Not there. It's
Futuristic,
hypothetical.
Yes.
got it,
But
okay,
we do have a spot for a mural
okay.
on
That's
our
good to
plan,
know.
if it gets approved.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then we also discussed working with Starkweather and the professional side of the art world outside of the Girl Scouts and us to help us decide, what is the life of this artwork? Are we agreeing to it for a year and then it's going to be painted over and we're going to do something different? Is there going to be, maintenance and upkeep on it? How does that look so that whatever we have is representing Romeo? It's a strong vision of what we want. So really bringing in the art community to help hold our hands through that process. So that's going to be the next meeting is getting those people involved and identifying, like I said, what are we doing? Where's it going to be? And, obviously, what's the proper products and all that good stuff to make it happen.
And she did let us know that there are a couple of different grants that would be eligible for this. So
Yes, so she's working on that part of it for us, too. All right. Moving on to grant writing update, okay?
So we continue to work through pre-application meetings with MDOT and going through some training with SIMCOG, TAP funding training, just to make sure that when we put together our application, we have a really good success rate. And so right now, we've kind of pinpointed June of this year to be ready for having all of our conceptual designs, our engineering reports, and our application put together. So that's kind of the goal, and that's where we're at.
And then strategic planning services.
And we do have a meeting scheduled for February 26th from 9 to 2 with the board and with POW Strategies to start having those conversations around building a strategic plan.
And that's in person at the DDA.
In person at the
Okay.
DDA, yes.
Perfect.
Thank
What
you
is the
for-
point of, what, I guess I missed it last week, but the strategic planning, what was that? Kind of give me a broad overview of that one.
So working with Christina, who was our interim director.
Yeah.
Part of what she does is strategic planning. So we voted to enter into a contract with her where she'll be working for us on a contractual basis, helping us create our strategic plan for the DDA, so that we're doing, we're going after the right things at the right times, and helping us focus on the bigger picture items that we've talked about. When we discussed it at the last meeting, Christina did the board and the DDA well during her service
Yeah,
for
no,
us.
she was
So,
good.
this is really her wheelhouse and what she knows, and now that she knows us and Romeo, it just seemed like a really good progression of our relationship with her.
Okay.
It gets us a roadmap,
Yeah,
and it puts it to a timeline.
yeah, kind of holding us accountable, and I think sometimes all boards do it, but I know we've done it as a DDA, is, we have the money there, we have these plans, but sometimes we end up just nickel and diming it for little things, just so we seem like we're doing stuff, and this is gonna help us take a step back and say, if it's just using restrooms as an example, is maybe we don't pay for one once a month, but we plan out that in 3 years, we are building a structure, and maybe we're buying a piece of land to do that, and help us just to stay focused on what's good on the big picture side. All right, executive reports.
So, last month we had a few noteworthy events. We had the ribbon cutting ceremonies for Spice 21 and Fiber Sports, along with that SIMCOG TAP funding education seminar, the MDOT TAP funding pre-meeting. The projects, we've kind of already gone through where we are on those things. We did get the holiday decor taken down on Friday, and it is being safely housed in Mr. Bauer's building on East Lafayette, so we're very
Thank you.
happy about that. I'll continue to clean out the storage that we do have at DPW over the next couple of months, just so that we can be better organized and have more space, but
And we have our basement storage too.
basement storage?
I mean, you can continue to utilize that building if it's within reason. I mean, you're already giving me
No one
insurance,
told
so there's other things you want to put in there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, give her too much all at once,
Yeah, we'll just,
Never, don't worry about the basement right now.
Okay.
well, I know what I'm talking about.
We have executed contracts with Powell Strategies and Gibble Webster. I continue to work on some standard operating procedures, some kind of bigger projects. I'm trying to source a good CRM for us to use as an organization to house all of our data, to our contacts, our buildings, our businesses, our events, everything, even our project management. And so I am going through that process with Salesforce, District 360, and these are things that I'll bring to our strategy meeting to kind of discuss with the group. So just working through that and really focused on that inventory. Everything kind of revolves around good data, and we just don't have it right now. So kind of the biggest things that I'm working on.
Thank you. So move on to board member comments. Want to start with you, Marty?
Yeah, I just have an email to read to somebody, or read from somebody if somebody else wants to start. I'll pull it up. I can start. Okay. This was from a resident, Ken, I'm gonna tear up his last name, Van Heck. He says, as a resident of Romeo for 29 years and getting great village services, I feel a comment on the new parking fee is in order. Before a new paving project on the parking lot is started, please finish the last paving project first. The southwest quadrant did not get paved and the streets are much worse than the parking lots. Let's please find the funds to finish the current paving project before taking on another project. And again, that's from Ken Van Heck. And then other than that, I just wanted to thank Kay for your constant communication, as a complete board and then as an, per person, individual. I appreciate that. Just great, thank you.
I'd like to congratulate John for his soon-to-be grand opening. I'm looking forward to seeing this new place of yours.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Again, congratulations to Spice 21. And it's nice to see going around to these things and seeing our director there with us in support, even out at Fiverr Sports. It's not in your DDA district, but it's nice to see the acknowledgement of the businesses around, because that is also how we will get support here, given back, as if we consider them. And Kay does a wonderful job, very considerate, great representing the DDA everywhere she goes. That's it.
I don't have anything specific.
I just also want to welcome Spice 21. Congratulations. Hopefully I'll get an invite to your grand opening. Thank you to Paul for letting us have some storage space. Appreciate that. And Kay, again, you're working kind of quietly, nose to the grindstone, so thank you for everything you're doing for us. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. I know we're using some space. Appreciate that very much. Means a lot. And then I'm not going to read what I had, but it was revolved around Kay. Glad you're here. Glad somebody in the office and just helping us keep things moving. We're starting to see some, slowly but surely, some progress. So just a little bit of time so far, you've done a lot. Thank you.
Just congratulate you on your new location. I get to come by every morning and see you working hard, going back and forth between the two, so that's always difficult, so it'll probably be nice to have one location to worry about, but other than that, I don't have anything more. We're definitely would offer more storage if you need it. We're always here to help, so,
It's an amazing building, by the way.
yeah, it's nice.
You
Pretty
would
cool.
not even guess it, but it's special.
All right, so that brings us to a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
I
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.